Good afternoon. Welcome to this session of the Sea-Power conference. I'm impressed that we're still getting good attention to the themes of this issue, because after the themes of this conference, because after the spectacle really of the last week, essentially I think the festival, both intellectually and visually, of really sea power, maritime interests, the work of navies. It's a real surfeit of material. So thanks for coming along. I wanted to firstly introduce myself and then introduce the theme and the speakers for this, I think, really important session that adds to the very focused discussions we had this morning. Rory Medcalf is my name. For those of you who don't know me, I work at the Lowy Institute, a foreign policy and security policy think tank here in Sydney, and we've got a very close relationship with the Sea-Power Centre and the work of the Australian Navy in really building intellectual foundations for maritime strategy in this country. I direct the international security program there. We've got two really first-class international speakers here this afternoon on a topic that, at first blush, is kind of maybe not contradictory, but has a certain tension built into it, but which actually captures the logic of what governments all over our region, Indo-Pacific region, Indo-Asia-Pacific or Indo-Pacific Asia, however you want to pack it, the kind of policies that they're going to have to reconcile in really developing effective maritime forces in this century. And that is regional engagement and power projection. These are not always two, I guess, consistent themes. At the end of the day, power projection is about a lot more than regional engagement. But in looking at this region and in looking at the interplay of economic and strategic interests that is really redefining the region, and we heard some pretty clear messages on that yesterday from people like Professor Wesley, in looking at this region, governments are reshaping or crafting their maritime forces to do both, to project power and to use those forces for the kinds of, I guess, naval diplomacy that will reduce risks of conflict, reduce risks of misunderstanding, maximise opportunities for collaboration. To that end, our two speakers, Dr. C. Raja Mohan from India and Dr. Ewan Graham, who I guess I can't really say from Britain anymore because he's representing, or he's based at a Singaporean think tank, but certainly a regional maritime security specialist, will look in particular at the Indian and the Southeast Asian perspectives on this topic. I'll invite each of them to speak for about 15 to 20 minutes or so, but I really encourage questions and I guess thought-provoking questions from the floor. So we'll start with Raja Mohan. Dr. Mohan's a good friend of the Sea-Power Centre, the Lowy Institute, and really, I think, Australia in our efforts to build maritime security cooperation with India. But more importantly than that, he's one of India's leading strategic thinkers and commentators. He's currently head of strategic studies and distinguished fellow at the Observer Research Foundation, which I think is India's foremost independent think tank. And in various other roles, he's affiliated with the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, the Indian Express newspaper, and indeed the Lowy Institute. Raja, it's my pleasure to welcome you.